I'm Andrea, and I'm a virtual assistant for 7 years, specializing in social media management and marketing, YouTube management, and content purposing. This is Desk Queen VA Diaries. We will talk about real stories, practical advice, and unfiltered insights into the VA industry. So every week, we'll dive deep into the highs and lows of freelancing, what it really takes to thrive into this space. Have you ever wondered what makes a virtual assistant different from a freelancer? Are they the same or are there key distinctions? I had to ask that question because I have seen in a lot of groups, there are a lot of people asking if there's a difference between the two based from my experience. I also don't know if there's a difference. When I started, I was like, okay, I'm going to be a virtual assistant and that's it. And that was 2017. When I started as a general VA, all I thought I'll be doing is just data entry. I never think that I could niche down. At some point, I would say that I'm a freelance VA, but I really don't know because when I say I'm a virtual assistant, I thought that I own my time, but it's not necessarily like that. But yeah, I think there is a difference between the two. So first, let's define the two terms. Based from what I have seen and what I have experienced, a virtual assistant is a remote worker who typically offers administrative, technical, or creative support services to a business or entrepreneur. They can work for a single company or a few clients on a retainer or have a set of responsibilities and offer ongoing support. When I say work for a certain company or a certain business, they work 8 to or 9 to 5, something like that. When we say a freelancer, it is a self-employed individual who offers specialized services. They offer it often on a project by project basis across multiple clients, and they tend to have more freedom to choose projects, but may not have the consistent workload that a virtual assistant enjoys. For example, when I say I was a freelance virtual assistant before, I do offer I won't call it a project by project basis, but I would say I offer 6 months of contract to a certain client, 6 months of a virtual assistant services. And that is social media management. And every 6 months, we will reevaluate if we renew the contract or not. So with regards to work structure, I would say virtual assistants typically have a steady workload because you know that these are the things that you do. You have regular hours and you have long-term contracts. Most of the virtual assistants have a 1 year to 2 years contracts. Others more than that. And freelancers, like I said, more of a project based, like the workload may fluctuate. And as a freelancer, because they have the freedom to choose which projects to take on, they can always say that, okay, I'm going to take on 3 clients, 3 projects for this month, and I'm good to go for the whole 6 months. Like I have this set of income for the whole 6 months. And then on the next 6 months, she would say, okay, I'm going to take just 2 because I want to be relaxed so I could focus on other things. And so there's really not a specific, like you don't have the consistency of your workload. And then when it comes to skills and services, virtual assistant can be more generalized. They often support in specific business operations like social media management, scheduling, or email management, just checking the inbox. Or for email marketing, they can be an assistant to that. Like a business or a company will get them and will let them say, I'll do the copying of the template, making sure you put this details in the email for this specific week for the newsletter, and then you just schedule and then send it. Content repurposing. Okay, repurpose this video into a blog and then into social media posts or something like that. Whereas a freelancers, it's a specific skills like graphic designing, web development, content writing, social media management, and marketing. That's why I say and marketing, because there is a difference again between a social media management and a social media marketing. Social media management is not managing the social media platforms. They do content creation, yes, but when it comes to the strategy, that's the marketing side. So again, a freelancer specialized in skills, and part of one of that is social media marketing. There's is a strategy in there that they are going to implement. YouTube management, that is also a specialized skill. It's not just posting video or editing YouTube videos. It's strategizing what videos are we gonna put on for the entire month. So a YouTube manager would brainstorm with the client, will do a research of the type of videos, the topic. Are they SEO? Are this topic that your audience are looking into, researching into, so that you will rank in that certain keyword. And then when it comes to client relationships, virtual assistants tend to form a long-term relationship with client. They become an integral part of the business. Freelancers have shorter term relationships, often moving from one project to the next. But also it depends. There are also freelancers who have a long-term relationship with clients. Like me, I did have a client who was with me for 2 years and a half, and I was a freelancer, and I offer social media management, just management for her. She does the marketing. I just help with her. Like, she just tell me, okay, this is what I plan on the marketing, and then I implement it. So more of a social media management role. But we did have a long-term relationship. It went for 2 years and until she decided to take a turn on her business, decided to close it down for now. So yeah, we part ways, and still we are in communication with each other. So I would say relationships depend not on the role, but on a person. How you create that or foster that relationship with your clients. Then the income structure, VAs often paid on a retainer or salary basis with predictable income. And freelancers can vary significantly based on projects and needs. Our packages for social media management, you just say, okay, my basic package, let's just say, is $500. And then another project comes in, and then it's a social media management, but it's more customized package. So maybe we may run from 800 to 1,000. So it really depends on what type of project and the budget of the client. So again, freelancers can have a very big income on a certain month. They can also have no income on other months. It varies from time. And with the roles, I will say the pros and cons of each role. Okay, this can be hard. So let's start with the virtual assistant. What are their pros? What are the good side? From what I've mentioned earlier, we have the stability in terms of income and client relationship. It's easier to build trust and understand long-term clients. There is a predictable workflow. And for the freelancer, the good side is the flexibility in choosing clients and projects. You have the opportunity to focus on your passion or niche or skills. You have the potential for higher income based on specialization. So yeah, those are the good side. And for the virtual assistant, that let's just say bad, but the negative or the downfall, not downfall, but yeah, let's just say it's bad. Less flexibility than freelancing. Like, you don't own your time. Like, you have 8 to 5, that's certain. And that's fixed rather. And you may involve routine tasks that can feel repetitive. On the freelancer, there is less stability, both in workload and income, and client relationships are up short term, requiring constant marketing. What I mean by constant marketing is that because it's a short term client and you have a contract for 6 months, 1 year, and you don't know if you renew the contract or the client you want to renew, but the client don't want, you have to really work on being out there on constant marketing so that when a client leaves or when the client ends your contract, you have a wait list or you have another potential client in your wait list that is ready and willing to work with you. Because to be honest, it's really hard to find clients. So I will not recommend that if you're a freelancer, you just be relaxed and say, okay, I have a client now. I don't need to market myself. I don't need to show up. I don't need to find another client, but you don't know what lies ahead. You don't know what comes next. What if the client will say, okay, I will terminate our contract. I will pay what it needs just to terminate the contract. And you will not have a backup plan. And then you will find for another client. And it's for me to find a client, it takes around 2, 3, sometimes more, 6 months. If you find this client a perfect match for you, because it's not just about the project, it's also about the client. Are your vision, values aligned with each other? Are you in good vibe? That's the good side for a freelancer because if you don't like the client, you don't work for them. You are not obliged to work with them. You can just say no. How would you choose if you want or if you go to a virtual assistant route or a freelance route? So first, there are 3 things that I would consider. First is you have to assess your strength. Are you a generalist who thrives in supporting others? That's not a bad sign. It's a good thing because there are businesses that wants to have people who are just, there for support. They don't need to have a specialized skill. Okay, that's again. Are you a generalist who thrives to supporting others, or do you have a specific skill set that you can market? Those are the things that you have to consider. And then your lifestyle. Do you prefer stability or flexibility? If there is a fluctuation of incomes, how do you handle that? Are you looking to grow with a company as a virtual assistant or work independently on diverse projects as a freelancer? I started out as a generalist. When I started as a VA, I didn't assess my strength, to be honest. What I assessed was what I can offer to the client, what I can offer to the business. So I really didn't know that there's a certain freelancer and virtual assistant. I just say, okay, I'm a virtual assistant. I'm gonna because I'm good in data entry. I'm good with software like Microsoft. That was me back then. I know how to follow instructions. I have this initiative to research that I don't know. I am a wide reader. I read a lot when I don't know, when I'm interested in a certain thing. I read about it so that I know how it works. So that's how I started. And that's how I became a virtual assistant. I had that client for almost 3 years. And then she trained me. So eventually it was just assisting her with the back end, with data entry, with social media posting. She has a lot of clients also. So I helped her. She has social media clients. So I helped her with social media posting and then looking at her schedule, all those things. And then after a while, she trained me to create the social media post from the graphics. And then she trained me to do the caption. And then when she approves it, I post it, I schedule it. So that's how I learned that.
Oh, I like social media management. This part, the content creation. I like that.
So I learned that along the way. And then I specialized, I dig deeper into that skill. I went into the search for free courses and paid ones. I studied it and implemented it on my own just to be just to have a, what do you call that? Just to have an experience necessarily for a client, but for myself. So I did that. And then when my client and I ended our contract, I then offered that service. And then I became a freelancer. So I take on two clients at that time, offering two services. One for general virtual assistant and the other one for social media management. And then after that, I was like, oh, there's a possibility for a YouTube video to be repurposed into a blog post, into a social media post. So I studied again YouTube management and content repurposing. And that's how I specialize or niche down. That's how I find that,
Oh, I can be a virtual assistant and I can be a freelancer depending on my life.
like, for this time, I do have clients, but I want to have the stability and not always think of marketing myself. That's one of the negative side of being a freelancer. There comes a time like you don't want to always work on your business. You don't want to always show up. You don't want to always think of, okay, what I'm gonna, what I'm gonna do today, what I'm gonna do this month or next month. Like I have to roster new clients. So I have to create this because I felt like my brain, my energy is already filled up with my client and I don't have time for myself or for my business, literally for my business anymore. So it's like, okay, I want stability right now. I want a predictable income and I'm good with that. So right now, I would say I'm a virtual assistant that's offering social media management and marketing to a client, to one specific business or company. I'm not a freelancer, but I can be a freelancer when I feel like, okay, my client and I ended our contract. Now I will be a freelancer if I want. That's my road to virtual assistant. And that's my journey and that's my take. So whatever you decide, what at the end of the day, it's your decision. What I want to do is to list down your skills and your strength. You identify it. Other people, they recommend Kigai. That's also a good one to know your skills or your strengths. But what I did was I list down what I'm good at and then I asked my husband, my friends, and my family on what they think I'm good at. I'm good at finding solutions to problems. So that's so narrow. And then I just look into my list. What's the skills in there that is specific from what they said. So it's not just basically when you're identifying your strengths, it's not just your list, but you also ask other people that knows you. Just test the waters. If you're a newbie, if you have no experience, I suggest starting with a freelancing platforms to test different types of work. There is Upwork, or you can also create your own social media platform and showcase your skills in there. If video editing, just do a video and then show how you edit the video or show the results of your video that you've edited. Just out there so that people or client can see your style of video editing. If you are good in social media posting or social media management, create your social media accounts, TikTok, Instagram. There are a lot of things you can do to showcase what you know. I tell you, you are now in 2024 and you are so lucky because you too have a lot of things when you search in or type in the keyword virtual assistant. There are a lot of free resources out there compared to when I started or the people before me when they started virtual assistant. Before, when you type in virtual assistant, a limited number of resources, one, two resources, free resources. They don't even know what a virtual assistant is. Like they don't even know how to explain a virtual assistant. So it was really hard time before to learn about this industry compared to right now. So you have all the resources right now, free and paid. You just have to know if you're really willing to take this journey because I tell you, this is not for the faint hearted. I tell you, this is real. This industry is real, and you have to always put your best foot forward because your competition is it's not just in your country. It's not just in your state. Your competition, the people all over the world. And then you'll be fighting for the client. It's not just the skills that you're fighting for. It's not just the knowledge that you're fighting for. You're competing also with the prices. I tell you, there are a lot of clients who will hire you because you're the cheapest. That's the truth. That's the hard. So you have to know your worth. And then you network and learn. Join VA or freelancer communities. There are Facebook communities out there. There are LinkedIn communities out there to get the feel for what resonates with you. And you will learn some of their stories. You will learn how they handle situations. And you keep that in mind. Network, I say there are others. You make friends. Do not network with the end goal of, yeah, I'm going to get this as a client. No, network, build that relationship, nurture that relationship. Let them know how valuable you are. And the last part is whether you are a VA or a freelancer, find a niche. Niching down can make you more marketable and increase your earning potential. So if you're generalist VA, niche down, become a executive assistant because you're more into operation, the executive side. People like that. General VA, niche down into operations manager or project manager. If you like systems, workflows, do that. Specialize on that. So if you don't know what skills you have, you don't know what strengths you have, go with your skill. Do the things that lights you, that makes you happy. Or start with the basics, what you know, and then go from there. I'll end this episode and leave you with one nugget of wisdom. When you enter this industry, have an open mind. Always thrive to learn. And I always say this to my clients and the people or friends I made in this industry that skills, you can always learn that. But your attitude, your personality, the way you handle situation, the way you handle yourself and your client, what you believe in, your values, you can't learn. It's already in you. So you have to nurture that because clients would really love to work with people or with a virtual assistant or with a freelancer who have values, who have boundaries, who knows their worth. Because at the end of the day, the clients would want you to treat their business as their own. When you enter this industry, be prepared because this will be a roller coaster ride. Thanks for watching the Desk Queen VA Diaries. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and share this with other aspiring VAs.